Greetings, worldwide water fans.
We're coming to you live from Kelowna, British Columbia,
in the
Okanagan
Basin
Water Board production studios.
This broadcast is also
being supported by the studios of HackWorks in Toronto and
Aqua Forum Central
in Montreal.
It's great to have you all
here.
It is World Water Day.
And
we're really excited to be bringing you tonight's event.
This is a semifinal that until
5 days ago was going to be live
and in person at the University of British Columbia, Okanagan campus. Instead, we have the fun of bringing you our first fully live AquaHacking semifinal on Facebook.
So welcome everyone.
It's really great to be here. Really great.
Everybody was able to
come together.
We may be socially distant,
but our hearts are strong.
And we're
connected
throughout the world.
So
I want to welcome the
teams, judges,
sponsors, partners.
I want to welcome the public and all of our friends out there in Facebook land.
The big day has come.
I want to offer my congratulations to all the many participants on their hard work and innovative ideas and teamwork,
and everyone else
who is joining today.
We're so glad that you could all join us online.
The AquaHacking Challenge is a tech-forward program, and this event shows how that we can leverage our tech agility to continue our work protecting fresh water under challenging circumstances.
So, for the members
of the public, what is AquaHacking?
Well,
AquaHacking is a challenging students and young professionals to develop demand-driven solutions for critical freshwater issues.
Championing tech talent and entrepreneurship
to innovative solutions for fresh water. We're leveraging mentors to ensure the viability of the solutions and collaborating with local stakeholders to make sure that the solutions all have impact.
The formula for
AquaHacking
it starts with recruiting
multidisciplinary teams of hackers, engineers, programmers, developers, managers, scientists, designers, and environmentally conscious students from various university campuses to collaborate on developing environmentally sustainable technology-based solutions to water issues affecting fresh water in British Columbia.
Each team then has access to mentors in water, in science and engineering,
in video gaming, in mobile apps, data analysis, legal and business strategy.
They also participate in exclusive workshops offered
online through the registration process.
Water experts who define the challenging water issues
offer end-user advice on the proposed solutions and help teams come to a deeper understanding of water issues.
You can imagine that a lot of students may be very passionate about water, but they may not know the details about how water is managed in everyday life.
So the water issue leaders supply access to relevant data and a point person to talk to the teams about the data, how to use it,
how
available it is, and what they can do with it.
In the final teams will produce functional
and marketable solutions
that can have a real measurable impact to solve water issues. We're having some technical issues with sound.
We're going to take a short break and we'll be right back.
All right, we're live again. Welcome back, everybody. The AquaHacking 2020 BC Challenge officially kicked off on October 29th of 2019 when the water issues for the BC Challenge were announced. Teams could register online and get access to on-demand workshops for machine learning, design thinking, entrepreneurship 101, and the perfect pitch. Originally, this semifinal was going to be a public showcase event in a science fair format. This was going to be held at the University of British Columbia Okanagan campus. And we made a quick switch around to hold this as a Facebook Live event. This afternoon, each of the teams, we had 20 teams pitching. They pitched their ideas twice, each to a panel of judges. The top 5 teams, which we will announce shortly, will receive each a $2,000 bursary to help them develop the idea before we hold the final. The AquaHacking format holds an on-the-water expedition where teams meet with mentors and experts who help them develop and solidify their ideas. This year, the expedition was to be held at the beginning of May, but we are examining ideas for other ways of holding it or potentially postponing it later into the summer, as you can understand. This is all getting ready for the final, where teams will once again, the 5 winners of the semifinal will pitch their ideas to compete for significant cash prizes and receive a spot in a business incubator. The date and time for the final is still to be determined, but it will take place in the coming months. This is the first time that AquaHacking has ever been held in Western Canada, and months of planning have gone into making it a successful challenge. The most exciting part, which is coming up, is to actually see the teams compete and see what the pitches are like for the 5 winning teams. So to give you an idea of the kind of participants that we had a total registration of 195 individuals. 88% of those were men and 22 were women. We had 30 total teams registered. Of those 30 teams, 20 decided to go ahead to compete in the semifinal. 76% of the people in teams were undergraduates, which is great to see. We also had 8% were young professionals, 7% were master's students, 6% were from the college, and 3% were PhD students. Although this is a BC challenge, we welcome participants from across Canada. So we had 160 participants from British Columbia, from a wide range of universities, and we had 35 participants from other regions, including Alberta, Manitoba, Ontario, and Quebec. The 5 issues defined for the BC challenge are certainly pressing issues in BC, but really they're common throughout North America. The top 5 issues chosen by the advisory committee to the AquaHacking challenge were contaminants in stormwater, the threat of invasive zebra and quagga mussels, flood damage and risks to communities, overuse of outdoor water, and the need for potable water in Indigenous communities. Our teams worked on solutions for all the issues. 26% of the teams worked on stormwater, 8% on the invasive zebra and quagga mussels, 23% worked on the flood damage and risks, and 26% on outdoor water use, and 17% in potable water for Indigenous communities. So you could see there was a spread, and people took each of these issues seriously. The BC Challenge is funded through our national financial partners, the De Gaspé-Beaubien Foundation, RBC Foundation, IBM, Ovivo, MyTax, and Lavery Lawyers, and with the support of our local financial partners, the Real Estate Foundation of British Columbia and Tech Resources. Thank you very much to our sponsors. So as I said, while the challenge is being hosted in the Okanagan, we've recruited teams from academic institutions from Vancouver Island to the Rockies and from the southern interior to the north. We also have participants from schools in Alberta, Ontario, and Quebec. We are proud to be working with our implementation partners, including HackWorks, Waterlution, and of course our outreach and education program, the Okanagan Waterwise. I want to thank all of our water issue leaders, our advisory committee members, and our mentors. And I also want to thank our judges who worked hard for the last few hours scoring all of our teams. And I would be remiss if I didn't also thank the AquaHacking team, Carrie-Ann Arup, Anne Pascal Richardson, and Melissa Dick. We're really grateful to have them supporting us through all of the work. And I can't forget to thank our Okanagan Basin Water Board team, Corrine, Carolina, and James. They are joining me here at a safe social distance in our production studios, making this Facebook Live event a reality. I'm not just doing this on my phone. I have a support team here bringing this to you live. I want to thank the water expert judges now. The water experts that we brought in to judge the teams are Jason Schleppe from Ecoscape Consulting, Tessa Turbasket from the Okanagan Nation Alliance, Don Dobson from Dobson Engineering, Jeremy Close from Urban Systems, and Alan Shapiro from Stem Cell Technologies. Judges for the business are Lauren Andrews from RBC, Janice Larson from Muse and Effect Consulting. We had Duncan Phillips judging from MyTax, Leanne Sexsmith from the Real Estate Foundation of British Columbia, and Kent Patterson from Ultratech Technology Industries Incorporated. And finally, our technology expert judges are Eric Dorgello from Aquatic Informatics Incorporated, Christopher Lewis from Ovivo, Candice Loring from MyTax, Nuri Fisher from Piscine Energetics, and Ty Sumac from ProSmart Enterprises. Thanks for your time and dedication. We really couldn't have done this without you. Now, we will be joined by Leanne Sexsmith to say a few words on behalf of one of our regional sponsors, the Real Estate Foundation of British Columbia.
Hello, everyone. I'm Leanne Sexsmith, the Director of Grants and Special Projects with the Real Estate Foundation of BC. I know it's been an intense but inspiring day of pitching and judging, and congratulations to you all for all of your work. It's been a challenging week in other ways for communities across BC and beyond. And I think at times like this, more than ever, we need positive examples of people coming together to solve real-world problems. So thank you for continuing your efforts, working to address these challenges, and sharing your solutions today. I'm here because the Real Estate Foundation of BC is a philanthropic grant-making organization that funds projects, connects people, and shares knowledge to strengthen communities and advance sustainable land use and real estate practices across BC. Over the years, we've seen many issues and funded many projects, and we know how valuable it is when people come together to solve problems on the ground. By making challenges specific and tangible, we make them solvable. By bringing students, scientists, and community leaders together, we make solutions real. Through this work, I believe we are collectively advancing one of the most important aspirations of our time: healthy land and waters that support resilient, livable communities now and in the future. As a grant funder of AquaHacking, we are so proud to be a part of this. I'd like to thank the teams, mentors, judges, organizers, and fellow sponsors and partners for their creativity, commitment, and contributions. Good luck to the teams. I'm excited to see the semifinalists. Thank you for inspiring us during these times. All the best, stay healthy, and many thanks.
Thank you, Leanne. And now we'll hear from Duncan Phillips from MyTax.
Good afternoon. My name is Duncan Phillips, and I'm Vice President of Strategic Markets for MyTax, a national not-for-profit organization that has designed and delivered research and training programs in Canada for over 20 years. We build partnerships that support industrial and social innovation in Canada, and this year we will fund over 10,000 national and international research internships representing over $150 million in funding. MyTax has been proud and pleased to support the AquaHacking competitions in 2020, both here in BC and with the upcoming competitions in the Prairies and Atlantic Canada. But first, we need to thank you, the teams here at the BC semi-final, because working with you now will help us figure out the best way we can help the finalist teams, not just here, but across the country. I mentioned the words research internships, so let me explain what that means in the context of the AquaHacking Challenge. We have reserved enough funding to match the prize money that will be awarded at the end of the competition, dollar for dollar, through our Accelerate program, which co-funds students to undertake research internships starting at 4 months in duration in partner with a sponsoring company or not-for-profit. We have a special variant of that program that allows the student to be an owner or part owner of the partner company, provided that the company is working within an industry incubator or accelerator. So the way this will work is that you'll be able to take the prize money or a portion of it, submit a proposal to MyTax, and on approval, send the money to us, and we'll double it and send it to your post-secondary institution, which will cover stipends for you, as well as other costs such as materials, travel, conferences, etc. So this is where you helping us comes in. The funding program has eligibility rules and processes, minimum but no maximum funding amounts. And until today, we did not know what your startup company would look like, what it would be working on, how many students on the team you may be able to benefit from the additional funding, or what else you might need the funding for. In the coming weeks, we will sit down, albeit virtually, with each of the finalist teams to figure out how to optimize, in other words, maximize, the matching funding that we will be able to offer when the time comes. So let me leave you with 3 comments. To the finalist teams, our assistance is optional. You're not required to apply for our funding if you don't want to, nor are you limited to matching just the prize money. You can supplement it from other sources and apply for more funding from us. To the other teams, you too may be able to apply for support from MyTax, provided that when the time comes, you have an incorporated company or not-for-profit and have or can raise the necessary matching funds. And to the organisers, the other sponsors, and everyone involved with the AquaHacking competitions, it is both a pleasure and a privilege working with you, and we look forward to working closely with the finalist teams over the next phase of the competition. Thank you, and keep safe.
And for sharing their words on behalf of some of our funders. Now I want to show you some of the prizes. This is what makes the competition so exciting for a lot of the young professionals, because there are some really great prizes out there for this tech challenge. The final prizes, which will be awarded at the final competition coming up in the next few months. The top prize is $20,000 cash to the winning team, $15,000 for second place, $10,000 for third place, and $2,500 for the teams placing 4th and 5th. These cash prizes are in addition to a spot in a local business incubator, a promotional video, and media coverage for your new startup. Of course, the real prize is the feeling that you get when your solution has a lasting effect on the sustainability of fresh water. Now, Duncan gave an overview of MyTax funding, and this is a new partnership for AquaHacking, but it is great that MyTax is able to match funds for many of the business ideas through their MyTax Accelerate Entrepreneurship program. It's exciting and really makes this a valuable competition for many students. Now I want to introduce Melissa Dick from AquaHacking.
Congratulations to all the teams that pitched your brilliant water tech solutions today. Regardless of whether your team is selected to continue on as a top 5 finalist team or not, you are now part of the AquaHacking alumni community made up of change makers and entrepreneurs who are working to improve the state of water in Canada. This community spans across the country from coast to coast and includes members who are just at the beginning of their entrepreneurial journey, as you may be, as well as those who have been working on their water tech solutions and startups for years now. What connects you all is your drive and passion to make a difference for water in Canada using your tech skills and innovation. This community nurtures peer-to-peer knowledge sharing and aims to celebrate the successes of its members and also provide support when the going gets tough. As a member of the alumni community, you now have access to curated content and resources to support your ongoing personal and professional development in the water sector. And you're now plugged into a valuable network of startup founders, business experts, lawyers, funding agencies, water experts, incubators, and accelerator programs. We may reach out to you to have you be involved in future AquaHacking challenges in other parts of Canada, to allow you to share your experience and inspire others to step up to the challenge of solving critical water issues using tech with a multidisciplinary team, just as you have with the BC AquaHacking Challenge. Keep an eye out for an email from the AquaHacking team in the coming days to formally welcome you to the alumni community. Please know that your AquaHacking journey does not end here. In the past, we've seen teams that didn't go beyond the semifinals continue to tirelessly work on their solution and develop a prototype and establish their startup. For example, the team Polymère from the 2017 AquaHacking Challenge were not selected as finalists, but they so believed in their solution and wanted to make a difference that they continued on to establish their nonprofit organization and now have a prototype of an innovative filter that collects microplastics in rivers and lakes. Every AquaHacking team has its own entrepreneurial journey, but keeping that solutions-focused mindset, creative approach, and drive to make a difference will help you reach your goals in the long run. For those that are continuing on as finalists, expect to hear from the AquaHacking team in the coming days for next steps as you enter into phase 2 of the competition. Phase 2 will prepare you for the grand finale in June and beyond for the launch of your future startup. It will involve business mentorship, further technical and other advice from water experts to bring your solution to the next level, an expedition that will allow you to connect with local water stakeholders and grow as water leaders, and workshops to hone your pitching skills. Once again, congratulations everyone, and welcome into the AquaHacking alumni community. I will now turn things back over to Anna, who will make the announcement of the top 5 teams.
Wow, thank you, Melissa. And finally, we're ready to reveal the top 5 teams for the BC AquaHacking Challenge 2020. If I had a drum, I'd make a drum roll. None of us have seen the winning teams. We don't know who these are. We haven't seen the videos. We're really excited. We've been working on this for months, and this is the big moment. So now for this, I'm going to be handing it over back to our partners from HackWorks in Toronto, who will be sharing the 5 finalist teams that were chosen by the judges just in the last couple of hours. Thank you.
Okay, so I hope that you can all see this screen. If I can just get one of our panelists here to announce who you can just make some noise so I can make sure that you can hear me. Okay, so hopefully now you can see this. We are so proud to hear everyone's pitches. We were all there, so obviously there might have been a little bit of a slip. Some people might have seen some of the top 5 finalists. So without further ado, let's see who the next top finalists are. So our first team making it to the finalists is Team O0. And this is their pitch.
Is all ready? Good. Okay, so let's This is the impact that zebra and quagga mussels have on industrial pipes, on boats, on shores, and even on other aquatic species. As you can see, they latch onto pretty much everything that is available. But how can a lake go from being pristine to being invaded? Invasive mussels are transported from lake to lake via boats. When a boat leaves a contaminated lake and goes into a clean one, it contributes to the propagation of the exotic species. 9 times out of 10, this is how zebra and quagga mussels are introduced into a lake.
As of today, one of the only ways to prevent zebra and quagga mussels propagation is to manually wash boats and trailers with a high-pressure washer. It is either a municipality employee or the boat owner that has to wash the boat before it enters the lake. But in both alternatives, an important part of boats is unwashed, the ballasts. Ballasts are bags integrated into the boat hull. They're filled with the lake's water to create bigger waves when practicing nautical sports. The mussels are introduced into the ballast at the larva stage, which are called villigers. Even though those villigers are invisible, they contribute to more than 50% of the propagation of the species. So it is as important to wash the ballast system as the rest of the boat. In brief, the washing methods available right now do not solve the entire problem. And this is where we step in. I'm Olivier Arpin, and here's my colleague Mathis Tessier. We are O0, and this is how we preserve our Canadian lakes.
We are currently developing an innovative technology that decontaminates the ballast system and complements the current solution used to wash boats. As Olivier said, no one washes the ballast, which dramatically contributes to the exotic species invasion. We use active suction cups to fix our system onto the boat and fill the ballast with a decontamination product, just as seen on screen. This decontamination product is currently tested on live zebra mussels to ensure total mortality. We also work with a team of biotechnology experts from the University of Sherbrooke. This ensures that our mixture is biodegradable and eco-friendly.
Our market strategy is to initially sell every unit at a profitable price. We then offer an annual maintenance service to municipalities. For us, it means a recurrent revenue that would assure income stability in the future. For the municipalities, it means a predictive maintenance service. Predictive in the way that we monitor the output of the system. Knowing in real time the metrics of our product, like temperature, pressure, and energy consumption, allows us to go on-site and target problems before failure.
If we take an overview of our market, we quickly realize that it is worldwide. In fact, it represents every launching ramps of navigable lakes, lakes that are contaminated or not. We talk about 15,000 lakes in Canada and in the north of the US only. Knowing that most lakes have several launching ramps, this represents tens of thousands of opportunities for O0 to have a positive impact on aquatic ecosystem. To facilitate our entry in the market, we decided to aim for municipalities that are already sensitized about the problematic and that have already implemented washing stations.
With the AquaHacking prize, we would be able to run multiple tests on mussel villigers during the summer. The prize would also help us with incorporation, intellectual property, as well as getting a third version of our prototype. In order to get our first sales, we plan on refining our prototype quickly. Fortunately, 2 municipalities want to implement our product at the launching ramp starting in May. We will then complete our conception by the end of 2020, and this will allow us to enter the market before summer 2021. The impact of O0 goes beyond the contaminated ballast waters in wake boats. About 5 years from now, we want to launch the first automated boat washing station. We're currently developing this car wash-like solution that will replace the employee or the user that wash the boats each time. It will be able to effectively remove and eliminate the mussels that are stuck onto the boat hull, no matter the conditions and in the best time possible.
We are a team of senior undergraduates in mechanical engineering that cherish the environment and the aquatic ecosystems of Canada. But we're not alone. We currently have the support of the Quebec Ministry of Environment and Wildlife. But also importantly, 8 municipalities have already expressed their support towards our project. Just as them, you too can join the O0 movement and help us preserve the quality of lakes around Canada. Thank you.
Great, that was the presentation and pitch from the Ozone team. Our next team that made the finalist is the Hydrodynamic Labs, and this is their pitch.
All right,
Good afternoon, judges. My name is Jacob, and along with me are my team members, Rudy, Jaden, Colt, and Graham, and we are Hydrodynamic Labs. So the problem that we chose to address is the concentration of contaminants in our stormwater that's entering our local waterways. So the issue is extremely important in our home, the Okanagan area, because it affects the quality of drinking water, harms ecosystems, disrupts recreational activities, and negatively impacts the tourism industry that has grown in the Okanagan. So after reviewing the existing technologies in the industry, we have conceptualized the gravity-assisted particle separation system, or as we call it, the GAPS, which removes hydrocarbon compounds, sediment, and particulate matter from as close to the point source as possible. The system is very easy to implement as it fits perfectly beneath existing storm drain grates and is suspended in the catchment basin by a frame that rests on the same ridge as the grate itself. The GAP system can be broken down into 3 sections. So the top of the chute is open, which allows for overflow access in the event of an excess amount of water entering the drain. The middle section is a hydrocarbon absorbing material, and this is located about the water line because that is where the hydrocarbons will sit. And then the bottom section of our chute is a non-permeable membrane, which just slows down the water a bit and allows for the particles to settle to the bottom, and then it allows the water to come back up and exit through the exit pipe.
The GAP system uses hydrophobic polymers to absorb non-polar organic solvents. They're often used by industry professionals to clean up oil spills. And the variants from such that from 3M are made with up to 50% recycled materials. And such reputable organizations are leading the industry when it comes to oil absorbent pads. And as Jacob mentioned before, our solution works principally on density, where the hydrocarbons stay on top of the water in the main column, and the sediments sink to the bottom because it's heavier than the water, where then it can be disposed of. And for the oil, since it floats on the top of the water, the oil pads are placed so that the oil is always in contact with them. And the system is designed in a simple yet effective manner. And the overall design of our system allows for even untrained professionals to implement the GAP system, unlike other existing solutions, which require a team of trained technicians to participate and oversee the installation process.
Hydrodynamic Labs are striving to reach true sustainability, and our solution and implementation plan keeps this in mind in order to respect and attain the triple bottom line. In normal commercial practice, it seems very likely that the selling price of our product can have a margin of over 50%. It can be brought to the market in the very near future. We have computer-aided designs prepared, and the materials and labor are readily available locally. The large majority of city drains have a basin beneath them, and our product is scalable across different cities. As not all basins are the same, our product can be easily modified to fit any basin. Kelowna's water recreation and tourism industry relies heavily on a clean green image. This gas product will have a significant support to the suppression that our city requires, and thus generates a large market interest. All stakeholders and all end users benefit from a healthier environment and less pollution. This is the solution selection matrix that shows all of our solutions, along with the criteria we use to evaluate them. Based off of this matrix, we made a cost effectiveness graph, which shows our solution is in the opportunity region. We also have an effectiveness implementation graph amongst all solutions, again showing it is in the opportunity region.
Now, our solution, if deployed at scale, would be able to directly remove hydrocarbons and petroleum and oil-based pollutants. Additionally, it would be able to directly remove sediment and particulate matter from entering our waterways. Now, a report conducted by Leroy Water Consulting in 2018 found for the city of Kelowna that sediments and particulate matter were very crucial in the spread of microscopic pollutants like microorganisms, bacteria, heavy metals, and other things of the same kind. Therefore, by reducing the amount of sediment and particulate matter that's entering the waterways, we greatly reduce these microscopic pollutants as well. As a combined effort, this leads to reduced water turbidity and increased water clarity. It leads to increased sunlight penetration of water. It leads to less contaminant mobility and transmission. And effectively, it leads to cleaner drainage systems, cleaner drinking water, and more aesthetic water bodies and tourist locations for the Okanagan region as a whole. Now, this concludes our presentation for today. We thank you.
congratulations to Team Hydrodynamic Labs. The next team that is moving on to the finals is, drum roll, Team Elite. So Team Elite, excellent work as well. This is their pitch.
Hi everyone, on behalf of Team Elite, wanted to thank you for being part of our virtual presentation. So one thing that inspired us to be part of this competition is that we believe that every human right has that universal right to be access to clean environment and also clean water. So we took the AquaHack challenge knowing that there's a lot of contamination in our stormwater system, and we wanted to really address the lack of filtration and the treatment of the oil contaminant in our water. So we looked at the contaminants. There were metals, there were hydrocarbons, pathogens, and sites. But unfortunately, we couldn't get access to the number of how much pathogens and sites are because the numbers are not available. But we were able to access hydrocarbons and metals. And we looked at the watershed area. We looked at the system of Kelowna. In reality, Kelowna does not have a lot of system to address the contamination. There were old systems, which was stormwater used to be routed to sewage treatment, and it was basically overwhelming the plant due to high flow. And there were like decentralized treatment plants like grass soils and infiltration, but not necessarily really addressing the contamination of oil, and it was not really working, and it's not working. So A to Z filter, the name of the idea that we came up from, it was limited to a lot of designs, things that we had to protocols we had to follow. It was limited by the land supply that we have available in Kelowna, which is expensive. We have municipal and federal laws we have to abide by. We have to really maximize our environmental impact, minimize the cost and maintenance of it. So we start to look at materials available out here. The material available, it was dictated by the absorption level. There are in our filter system for our drinking water, there's materials such as activated carbon, graphite, which are really expensive. Then we came across the human hair. Human hair, like, it has a lot of absorption capacity. And I want to show you in our protocol that how we use human hair for filtration system in our innovative system. So you see human hair has been inserted by these cartilages, just like a printer, scanner, anything. We just insert this human hair, and the concentration that you see is in 10 milliliters. So it becomes 1.5 gram per milliliter, which is almost as equivalent as Gulf of Mexico, like the oil spill that we had. So it's, and we tested it in 10 mils, 20 mils, and all the way to 100 mils. And as you can see in the video, that the oils were a lot of oils were basically absorbed by the first filter. If not, if it was going to, the second filter was absorbing. And if you see the third filter, is in case in any of the hair escapes, it was captured by the sand gravel filter. So, and then you see on the photo, on the video, the result of the water. The water is clean. And then we looked at the mechanism of the filter too. In case of the high flow, there's a bypass mechanism that allows us to account for it. So the numbers that has been done by many researchers, and even by NASA has been credited to, the absorption level of hair is almost 7,500 gram per milligram, which is in comparison to its competitors, graphite and activated carbon. Hair, for the cost level, which is free, it's abundantly available, and it's donated by, for our purpose of research, it was donated by many barbershops. And then we say, okay, like, there are many filters available. What happens after their life cycle? They go back to the landfill. So we say, okay, now let's look at it as a sense of reusability. Interesting enough, hair's after it's reused, it preserves its absorbability by 95%. So it's absorbable by 95% after issues. So then we like, okay, like, this is the best solution for our city. And then our solution also allows for future updates and upgrades. We left some empty spots for cartilages. But let's say in future, people say, hey, we have treatment for E. coli or something like that. So not a big problem. Just add it to our current model and let it go, let it carry through. So the idea of hair filtration and A to Z filter it really allows for the city of Kelowna, which is the area that we are working with, is that it's manageable and like also readily like available, like, and also the hair is really self biodegradable. So if these filters end up in a landfill after a long time, the biodegradable amount of time they need for it, it's 2 years maximum, and it's environmentally friendly. And Okanagan, it's really need of a clean water because the tourism and its economic growth and also agriculture is dependent on the clean water. And the maintenance of it. Maintenance is actually, it doesn't require a lot of people to maintain it. So it's very, it's a solution for a lot of water, stormwater contamination that we have in this area.
Congratulations, Team Elite. You've made it now to the finals. Our next team that is making the finals is Team Atlantis. Congratulations. Here is Team Atlantis's pitch.
All right. All right, folks, today we are going to investigate 3 specific problem statements in relation to flood risk. Firstly, there's a lack of flood risk communication to the public. 1/3 of the community within British Columbia don't have access to flood risk information. Secondly, the information that is available is simply not interactive. Flood data often comes in the form of hard to understand PDF files and specialized file formats that you need a significant amount of research to be able to comprehend. It's just very hard for the layman audience to be able to comprehend. And the terminology that is used is often not user-friendly to this layman audience. Terms like 100-year flood are used to denote flood risk and gives the perception that a flood won't happen in 100 years. Lastly, there's an expense and gaps in data. The gap within flood risk data is often caused by how expensive it is to collect the data. On average, it costs about $15,000 per linear kilometer of river to produce a flood map. And now I'll move on to my colleague, Jay, who will explain further.
To address the issue of flood risk communication, I'm going to start off with these flood maps that already exist. So as you can see, this is fairly difficult to understand, especially for someone without training. So we're going to transform this into a form that's easier to understand. So even something as simple as adding shading and adding a colored polygon, this can increase how people can understand these flood maps. But furthermore, we actually digitize these polygons and then place them over into a mapping plugin so that people can query their own location and be able to see whether or not they're inside these flood risk zones. So what we will be working on is to increase the amount of data that be part of our plugin over time. We would like to go further than that actually though. So a lot of communities have LiDAR data that's available and it looks sort of like this in its raw format. But our goal is to create this into a visualization, something like this that makes it much easier to understand what kind of flood risks exist and what it actually looks like in the community. So this is a section of Vancouver close to downtown. And as you can see, different flood heights correspond to different parts of the communities flooded. And this is a much more intuitive way to understand the impact of flooding. And then to address the fact that collecting data is very expensive and there's a lot of gaps in that data and a lot of communities can't afford to work with traditional organizations or companies that do mapping. But recently there's been increasing availability of consumer products like drones. The new iPad Pro that came out actually has a LiDAR function that's part of it. So we'll be building a framework that allows the contribution of consumers, the community members themselves contributing their data to our portal.
While this would address the core of the challenge, our solution also allows further useful expansions where we would like to focus on a potential business model on. Implementation into an API
will allow us to offer it as a service to other agencies. We can supplement a modeling aspect to actively process raw data. It will be a tool useful to adapt flood risk maps and predict engineering or climate change outcomes on surface hydrology. It will also allow us to act on the third point that was mentioned, the lack of data. Integration with remote sensing and even handheld imagery through technologies like structure from motion will allow us to create simple flood plain maps for smaller communities that may currently lack this data. So in this manner, we can provide a solution to address the challenge of flood risk in Canada.
And then you can visit our website at atlantis.engineer as well to find out a little bit more information and interact with some of the tools that we have accessible there. So thank you very much.
Congratulations to Team Atlantis for making it to the finals. Everyone's pitches were an excellent job. The next team that will make it to the top 5 finalists is the Agricultural Decision Support Team. Great work. Here is the Agricultural Decision Support pitch.
Thanks everyone joining us for our final pitch. We are Team Agricultural Decision Support in the Stormwater Contamination category. My name is Luke Trinity. I'm a PhD student studying computer science at the University of Victoria. My partner is Wasim Jawad. He studies innovation management in the master's program at University of Queens. So the overall theme of the problem that we're going to present is there's a disconnect between policy adoption and intended outcomes. So let's break this down. So for farmers dealing with the changing climate, that means increasing flood and drought variability. So sometimes they have to make tough decisions related to their bottom line that aren't always good for the environment. Basically, runoff, agricultural runoff is a huge problem for water quality. So we know that existing efforts are insufficient. The environmental farm plan here in Canada has a high rate of adoption, around 40%, but it's not really doing a good job of actually reducing pollution. You might have heard of the Hulker incident in 2014. That site is still being monitored for contamination, and the farmer who propagated that incident was actually part of the plan. The problem is there's no existing method for policymakers to test hypotheses of how their policy decisions are actually going to play out with the farmers. Farmer engagement is not currently effective, and we really need to get the private sector involved in this rapidly developing issue. And the final point I'll make on that is that the Auditor General in a report a couple of years ago recognized that contamination risks are intensified in small water systems. Here in BC, 90% of the water systems are small, and that's providing water to around 500,000 people.
So to solve this problem, our team designed and developed a cloud-based fully automated platform that simulates, test, and analyze the human behavior aspect of farmers' decision-making toward the current or future programs, initiatives, or new regulations related to the water quality in BC. The system is able to detect and analyze any correlation between the decision and program's factors or indicators, and provide valuable insights to policymakers that could help them to adjust, control, or monitor those programs. In addition to that, the platform will be an interactive, customer-centric tool to present and deliver the information and details of the program to the stakeholders and to provide an effective educational tool. To go further in more details, we seek to use this automated online digital simulations to collect data from agricultural stakeholders as they make the decisions. And the system will be building models and develop hypotheses and test the responses to those policies and programs in relating to the best practices. The results will provide the detailed insights and reports that will highly relevant to the policymakers and the targeted farmers or clients. And it will show the efficiency of those policies. In addition to that, the customized client-focused result will make a huge benefit in the return of investment on those public-funded programs. And it will show the farmers what the benefits that they will have when they apply those programs on their specific case
cases.
Here in the right, you can see a screenshot from our first prototype, which we successfully rolled out and tested on over 1,000 participants. Essentially, this online platform puts a farmer in the role of making decisions on a small farm. Some of the choices they have to make is related to the risk of flood or drought, and how they're going to set the allocation of cash for its cover crops, and also what investment decisions they might make related to installing, for example, a riparian buffer strip, which we know to be highly effective at absorbing harmful contamination that runs off before it gets into the actual water supply. What we would like to do is pair our existing simulation. In the next prototype, we want to link it up with what the existing environmental farm plan in Canada is doing. We propose having a tiered system. So we're going to have bronze, silver, gold, and platinum. So the farmers who are already in the environmental farm plan have the incentive to go the extra step and actually reduce their runoff based on the results that our simulation is providing. In the end, we would like this to be a fully automated simulation.
Finally, our business model is the license-based platform that will have 3 categories or 3 types of license. Users like farmers and decision makers who interact and put the data and test all of these scenarios, and the commercial license for the industrial or service providers to align or advertise their products that approved by the programs and the policies. And last, the academic license for the researchers and students to get the approved statistics and reports.
And here's our team, and we're very excited to answer all your questions about this, which I'm sure you have a few. Thank you.
Congratulations to these teams. Very cool pitches and solutions. We're so excited to see the development of all these solutions. There's a lot of incredible teams. Just as a recap, congratulations to Team 00, Hydrodynamic Labs, Team Elite, Team Atlantis, and Team Agricultural Decision Support. I'm going to now hand it back to our host and have them provide some closing remarks.
Well, welcome back to Kelowna, everybody. This is so exciting. It just brings tears to my eyes to see all of the excellent work that people have put into their solutions. I'm so excited to see the projects from those 5 teams. I wish them all the best. I'm really looking forward to the final and watching all those pitches, hopefully live this next time. I also want to take a moment and thank all of the participants. I believe that there is an AquaHacking 2021 coming up. Stay tuned for that. And I am excited that so many people contributed all their time and energy to help us improve water. The finalist teams will hear from us in the next few days about next steps. I also want to say thanks again to all of our wonderful sponsors, our partners at AquaHacking Central and HackWorks. It's really great how everybody came together and put this Facebook Live production on at the last minute. It's not perfect, but we love you guys, and we're really happy we could respect the teams and all the hard work that everybody's been putting in and get this out live into the public. We're actually able to share this with more people than we would have in an in-person event. And once again, from all of us here at the Okanagan Basin Water Board and from AquaHacking Central, I want to wish everyone a happy Canada Water Week and have a great rest of your weekend. Good night, everybody. Signing off from Kelowna.